This stream is powered by Melita, using Melita Gigapower Internet. World Pro Racing, where sim racing becomes real.
For only €5 a month, experience every high-definition moment on your TV, tablet, phone or PC. Great teams, great moments, and so much more. TSN from Melita is your ticket to stay in the game. Visit melita.com/sports.
Senna was a god. No one could even dream to follow him.
I'm from a very humble background.
The role of women at that time were really difficult.
It's just so dangerous. You're risking not only your life, but also my life.
wish your Wi-Fi network would just work in any room? Our new Stellar Wi-Fi is AI assisted to give you the smoothest, fastest possible Wi-Fi throughout your home. Stellar Wi-Fi, assisted by AI, exclusive to Melita. Find out more in-store or online.
World Pro Racing, where sim racing becomes real.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to World Pro Racing here on TVM Sport, Esports Television, Motorsport.tv. My name's Alex Goldschmidt, a last-minute substitution for this evening, but a big thank you firstly to Melita, visitmalta.com, Gaming Malta, and HyperX, and Thrustmaster as part of our sponsors here. We've got the casual race for GT3, a sellout grid around Misano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli, and it's looking to be an absolute barnstormer, a fantastic circuit in its own right, which actually does have a lap record set by a DTM driver and current Formula E driver in the form of Robin Freins. But it's looking to be a rather exciting evening of racing in prospect. Assetto Corsa Competizione is the platform this very evening. So without further ado, let's head to the circuit and see what is going out at this particular moment in time, because I'm sure we're going to have some fantastic sports car action for you people watching around the world, and we bid you a warm welcome here to us here at World Pro Racing. So, free practice well and truly underway, and as you can see, it's sunny, as it will be normally in the Rimini region of Italy, as Otti in the McLaren and a few other drivers will be making their way out. This is free practice, so 20 minutes. Air temperature 27 degrees Celsius, 33 degrees Celsius track temperature. And there's Tom Otti, the number 69 McLaren 720S GT3. And looks like we've possibly got one of the Porsches that could be off in the 297 as Otti gets a little bit of a clash from the right-hand side, and that was from one of the Ferraris. That was the 23 of Sergio Mendes from Spain. So we'll be waiting for quite a few of the drivers, a whole host of different nationalities here on World Pro Racing. And you can head to our official website at worldproracing.com. So 18 and a half minutes still to go in this free practice session. So we are looking forward to, I think from what we're going to have, is effectively a 30 strong grid here at Misano. Originally opened back in the 4th of August 1972. The former names, its original name was actually the Circuito Internazionale Santa Monica from its original opening in 72 until 2006, before it became the Misano World Circuit in 2006, and it has been posthumously named after the late MotoGP rider Marco Simoncelli after his sudden passing back in 2012. Sergio Mendes in the number 23 Ferrari 488 GT3 looking to get the initial advantage. And for those wondering, on Assetto Corsa Competizione, we do have Pro, Silver and AM ranked drivers. The AMs are in red, the Pros are in white, and the AMs are, or the Silvers are in grey. So Mendes looking to strike early whilst the iron is hot. As we go on board the number 23, up the gears, up to 5th, braking down towards a Variante del Parco. It's a right, then into a left, down into 2nd gear before you accelerate out of the corner. Then there's a short blast up to Curva del Rio, which is the next turn here. So down from 4th, down to 2nd, actually all the way down the gearbox, down to 1st gear. And you can just see how hard Sergio Mendes is pushing. Now he's going to head up the back straightaway over to Curva Quercia. And very closely gets towards the rev limit, down from 5th, down to 2nd gear. It's a tight left-hander here at Quercia before you put the power down once again, heading towards Tramonto. So there is a bit of a right-hander before you have to really stamp on the anchors here. And then now this is the fearsome bit. This is where bravery is called upon for every single GT3 driver heading towards Corvone. Now Mendes is going up the gears. He's going to go through 5th gear. The foot is absolutely nailed to the floor there. Now heading into the double right before they go to Cova del Carro. And we'd like to welcome everyone who are watching on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch along with us this very evening. We are live and uninterrupted throughout the duration of this casual GT3 race, and with Mendes looking to try and see, and he just runs a little bit wide coming out of Curva Misano, and the number 23 Ferrari crosses the line, and that was a 1 minute 34.986, just under half a second off of Mendes's best time. Ocas in the 86 Porsche rounds out the top 3 behind the 297 Porsche of Hoof, Waffel, Speth, Plivac. Kunzabo rounds out the top 7. Well, it looks like Waffel has just gone up into 3rd place with Hanus in the number 60. Porsche rounding out the top 10 at the moment. And here is Yannick Hoof from Germany in the Good Time Racing 297 Porsche 911 GT3R 991-2 variety. And it looks like one of the McLarens not too far behind. I think that is Otti in the number 69. And that was the one that had a bit of a coming together with Sergio Mendes in the early stages of free practice. Tom Otti currently rounding out the top 13 positions and is the sole McLaren in the top 20 at the moment. Runs a little bit wide, does the number 69. So it looks like we've got a Lexus now topping the timesheets as Erbrich in the number 26. Lexus RCF GT3. Jan Niklas Erbrich in the Tech 1 Racing livery. A car you don't see in modern GT3 racing, a bit like the Jaguar XKRS GT3 that was run by Emil Frey Racing for a number of years, but is still on the Assetto Corsa Competizione platform. So Erbrich rounding out is leading the way in the Lexus, and it is 4 different manufacturers, maybe even make that 5 in the top 5 at the moment. So it's Lexus leading from Ferrari, Mercedes, so the power of Falterbach rounding out the top 3, and then it is Stuttgart's finest. There is Sheldon Muscat in the number 14 Mercedes AMG GT3. And it's running in the GT Omega RPM Esports colours. And at the moment we have, I think that, I'm wondering now, there's a Ferrari beach to the outside of Curva Misano, the final corner, as Muscat goes and puts in a 1 minute 40.524. Best from the number 14 Mercedes driver has been considerably lower than that. And there is another Lexus in the top 10, and that is Gagli Kunsabo from Hungary in the number 24 Tech 1 racing car. So 13 minutes of free practice still remaining. Local server time 12:10 p.m. and it is still sunshine up in the Rimini skies as Gagli Kunsabo goes flying through into Corvone, now into the right-hander at Cova del Carro. And it looks like we've now got the biggest representation of one solitary manufacturer, is thanks to Ferrari at the moment, as Speth and Raboldi round out the top 8 positions respectively in the numbers 10 and number 70. And then here is one of the Estonian contingent also running in the Lexus, Tanel Kasasalu in the number 88, currently running 12th in this free practice session. And funnily enough, we've got nearly just over 12 minutes of this session remaining. It is a casual race, GT3 racing here at Misano, a staple of the GT World Challenge Europe, amongst other championships run by SRO, as Kasasalu still rounds out the top 13. Raboldi now drops to 10th as Erbrich from Germany in the number 26 still leads the way. Sergio Mendes has now decided to pit, as has Sheldon Muscat in the number 14. Off in the Porsche in the 297 still runs out the top 4 places. Ahead of Waffel, Okash, Whitehead in the number 114 Lexus. Speth, sorry, my apologies there. Can't get my words out right at the moment. In the number 10, Ferrari rounds out the top 8 ahead of Plivac in the Mercedes. And looks like we have a sole Bentley in the top 10. And that is Plivac in the number 6 as Yannick Ruoff in the number 297 pulls to one side and will effectively opt to go back to the pit lane. And there is Luke Whitehead from the United Kingdom in the Emil Frey Lexus Racing RCF GT3. Now, consider this, that when I mentioned Emil Frey and I mentioned Jaguar, the funny thing is that the Jaguar itself was not a factory-backed outfit from Jaguar itself in the United Kingdom. It was actually a standalone operation. So 10.5 minutes still to go. Luke Whitehead currently running in 7th position at the moment, as we've now got 23 drivers showing on the left-hand side of your screens at this particular moment in time, as Whitehead now comes across the finish line very shortly after exiting Curva Misano. Will the Brit improve? Oh, it was close by it was 99 thousandths between his best lap of the session so far from Luke Whitehead to go within a 10th of his best lap time. He still remains 7th for the moment as Yannick Ruoff is in the pits. Casasalu and Gemello, both running in the 86 Lexus and the 74 Nissan respectively, still doing... Now, we are waiting for some of the drivers to join us. It seems like there might be a potential issue, but we are working behind the scenes on that at the moment. 9.5 minutes still remaining, as that is Raimo Ocas in the 86 Porsche, who's currently running in 4th place at the minute in this practice session, which has just over 9 minutes and 20 still to go, as Matthias Albrecht, the number 21 Porsche, running 19th at the minute. So we have 23 drivers out in this practice session at the moment. Oh, Albrecht has a massive moment there. Yellow flags out. But he now makes sure that he will rejoin the track safely. And in many respects, it's good to get that out of the way now, rather than having that happen in free practice, in sort of in many respects, as Daniel Stremer out in the Rinaldi Racing colours, a stalwart within the team itself, within GT Racing, especially Adiatsi GT Masters, and Stremer running the 333 number, running in the top 20 at the moment, as we do still have yellow flags out, but that has now been retracted. So Erbrich still leads the way in free practice with just over 8 minutes of the session still to go. Mendes, Muscat, Ocas, Waffel, Ruoff, Whitehead, Speth, Trazzi, and Piardi round out the top 10. Mendes looking to try and improve. Still second at the moment. And still remains second on a 1 minute 36.126. The best effort from the number 23, a 134 looks to be a 503. Sheldon Muscat about 2.5 tenths of a second adrift. We head back to the number 14. Deep onto the brakes. And last week's winner is actually the driver in the top spot in free practice. Jan-Niklas Erbrich was last week's race victor. So that Lexus could have another bit of spark left in the tank, let's say, as Muscat now will come across the line very shortly. There is Erbrich in the Lexus. And you know what's really, really funny? Erbrich has been increasing the pace. So 1 minute 34.0 from the number 26 Lexus, who looks to complete another lap very, very shortly, I am sure, as we go into the latter part of the session. Simon Speth in the number 10. Now we'll come round and try and look to make an improvement from 8th position in the Ferrari 488 GT3. Don't forget, if you are watching, please give this video a like. Why not interact with us on socials? If you're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, why not, if you want to join our community, why not follow us on all our social media channels? You want to race? It's simple. Register on worldproracing.com, and that's how you can get involved. And we run on multiple different platforms, not just ACC, also the likes of rFactor 2, amongst other, Gran Turismo Sport, as Simon Speth now will head towards the final corner, and now comes through it. Will the number 10 improve this time around in the Ferrari, as Vaffel in the number 8 has pitted, as has Piardi in the number 7 Bentley. Speth goes 7th, better effort, and now drops Whitehead down towards the lower third of the top 10. Just over 5.5 minutes still to go. And here is Italy's Stefano Trazzi on home soil in the number 1 Ferrari. And now will come round to complete another lap. It's not been easy. It's a very tricky, technical and demanding track here at Misano. It needs full commitment. As looks like Whitehead has dropped again, as Hannes has now gone 8th. And Kun Sabo has also now put in another lap time. Here is Luke Whitehead in the 114 Lexus from Emil Frey Lexus Racing, as the Brit looks to complete another lap, and he rounds out the top 10 in this free practice session. Kun Sabo from Hungary. So it's 2 Lexuses at the bottom part of the top 10, with last week's winner, Jan-Niklas Ebrich, leading the way. So 3 Lexuses in the top 10. I never thought I'd be calling that one. 4.5 minutes still to go in the session. So 23 drivers have managed to make it onto the server so far in this session. We will have qualifying up very, very shortly indeed. But Ebrich has been running in the low 1 minute 34s, and that just shows how competitive the number 26 Lexus is going to be this very evening. But don't count out the likes of Mendes. Here comes Muscat. He's been dropped by Ruoff down to 4th. And on that particular occasion, he still is 4th, his last lap time. Muscat now drops down to 5th, as Whitehead has absolutely put in a blinder there. He's gone and put in a 1 minute 34.662. That puts him up into 4th position. So it's not just Ebrich that could be a dark horse. Keep your eyes on Luke Whitehead. That was an absolutely brilliant lap from the 114. Okash Vaffel currently in the pits. Kun Sabo now rounds out the top 10. So we have just under 3.5 minutes of this session to go. And there is Rainer Hesser in the number 762. Aston Martin Vantage V8 GT3 in the iconic R Motorsport livery, going through Corvoni at an absolute rate of knots. So it's been really interesting to see how the drivers have been getting on, and the track temperature has increased by a single degree to 34 degrees Celsius, as we have just under 3 minutes of the session remaining here at Misano for the free practice session before we get things underway with qualification. So Hesser comes round the final corner in the Aston Martin. Will Rainer improve from 17th position? We're about to find out. Not on that particular occasion. Stays 17th at the minute. And then pulls to the outside of the first corner of Variante del Parco. As Jan-Niklas Ebrich in the number 26 back out on circuit, really looking to make good some intentions and actually fire the warning shot across the bow of what we could expect to see in qualification here at Misano. As Matthias Albrecht in the number 21 Porsche, rounding out the top... Oh! Now that was a bit of Tokyo drift there, I'm afraid, from the Porsche, but luckily caught there by Matthias Albrecht. As I think I've just spotted Sheldon Muscat in the distance there. So just under 2 minutes remaining. And Jan-Niklas Ebrich has been the one, really, that everyone is trying to better. Sergio Mendes, in the meantime, has decided to pit, as qualification will be up very, very shortly. Ruoff, Whitehead, Muscat round out the top 5 positions in this session as Ebrich goes full throttle through Corvone and then into the right-hander, the double right just before Cove del Carlo. And neatly put on the brakes, takes as much apex without exceeding track limits as the number 26 Lexus. And will Ebrich improve on this particular set in this particular lap time? If he gets into the high 133s, I'm going to be really, really impressed. And he doesn't, but that's his best lap. That's a 134.065. Mendes, I think, has decided to call time on the session. Yannick Ruoff in the 297 Porsche 911, still out there at the moment. And best effort from the 297 is a 134.5. So a lot of drivers, I think, have sort of conceded that practice is pretty much over and done with. But some drivers looking to put a few more laps in, get a little bit more seat time, if you will, and try and see how the track will evolve. Obviously, it was 33 degrees Celsius at the beginning of the practice session. It's gone up by a single solitary degree. As Casisalu in the 88 Lexus now will cross the line and goes 13th with about 7 seconds on the clock still to go. And the timer has now expired here in free practice at the casual race for GT3 at Misano and Assetto Corsa Competizione. Tom Otti in number 69 McLaren looking to try and improve from what is 19th on the road. Looks to be a Porsche just behind and a couple of other cars following suit. So we still have the likes of Ruoff, Whitehead, Hanus, Speth, Martin, Otti that we just focused in on at the moment. Stremer, Vieira in the 912 Porsche. So they've gone through Corvone. The 4-litre V8 absolutely howling away, going through the corner at around possibly the best part of 270 kilometers an hour in 5th or 6th gear, depending on how brave you are. So Otti having a little bit of an off-track moment coming through Cove del Carro, but then we'll have one more corner, and that is Curva Misano. So will the number 69 get across the line and improve? On this particular occasion, not this time, but that is it for free practice. Well, Jan-Niklas Ebrich, definitely top of the pile here, but some really, really good performances. The likes of Luke Whitehead getting to 4th within the latter part of the session. Yannick Ruoff, Sergio Mendes, just some of the drivers out of the 23 that we had in that session. Don't forget, you can get involved with our community by heading to worldproracing.com. A big thank you once again to our sponsors, Melita, visitmalta.com, Thrustmaster, Gaming Malta, and HyperX. And of course, we are live on Esports TV, TVM Sport, and motorsport.tv. Right, so we're back on track. Now it is the 15-minute qualification session here at Misano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli. And Tom Otti is one of the first drivers out on the circuit. And it looks like Hannes in the number 60 Porsche not too far behind. But I think it's going to be a tall order if drivers are going to try and better Jan-Niklas Ebrich's run. Winner from last week, fastest in free practice, nearly got under the 1 minute 34 second barrier. And this is where it really counts. They do say that it is times are for show, not in qualifying. It decides your position on the grid. But to finish first you must finish. And these drivers will know that when they go into the half-hour race after we finish with qualification here on worldproracing.com. A big thank you to everyone tuning in on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook as Tom Otti runs a little bit wide in the 69 720S GT3. So the temperatures still remain the same as they did from free practice. 27 degrees air temperature, that's Celsius, and 34 degrees track temperature as one of the Porsches. That looks to be Hannes running a little bit wide coming out of Curva Misano. And this is where things really get interesting into Variante del Parco. Into the right, into the left, and then into the right again. A short blast up to Curva del Rio. And this track is 2.626 miles long, 16 turns in all, or 4.226 kilometres. It's hosted the European Grand Prix, the Superbike World Championships, Formula Renault, the Blancpain Sprint Series, Moto E, and of course the San Marino Motorcycle Grand Prix, amongst others. And at its biggest capacity, its capacity is 60,000. It's the biggest ever recorded attendance at this circuit was on the 2016 MotoGP official race day attendance, 100,496 spectators. And I'm sure that a lot of them were wearing the yellow, the iconic yellow of the number 46, the Doctor, Valentino Rossi. But at the moment, drivers still really getting into the zone here in qualification. And it is about putting tyre temperature in, putting brake temperature in, and when the pressures go up, that's when the grip really starts to come to the drivers, as Tom Otti looks a bit more planted, heading towards Curva del Carro, towards the far part of the circuit. Then it's the left-hander before Curva Misano. And that's the 16th and final turn on the circuit. So the first few benchmarks will start to come in, as there is Sergio Mendes. As, one of the Porsches runs really, really wide, coming out of the final corner. That scuppered their initial hot lap. So Mendes now gets past. Now that was one of the Aston Martins I just saw in the R Motorsport colours. That could be Waffle in the number 8. And there's Raimo Ocas as Yannick Ruoff leads the way in terms of initial benchmarks. And we're already into the 135.9s. Luke Whitehead will look to put down his initial benchmark in the 114 Lexus. 11 minutes to go in the session. And Sheldon Muscat rounds out the top 2 positions. So a good bit of work from the GT Omega Esports team driver in the number 14 Mercedes, as Luke Whitehead in the Lexus comes out of the final corner, Curva Misano. And the Lexus now will cross the line. Let's see where he puts himself. He puts himself right up into the firing line and puts the warning shot across the bow with a 3rd place as Simon Speth in the number 10 Ferrari goes forth with a 1:34.872. But the driver that we haven't quite seen at the moment is Jan-Niklas Erbrich, last week's winner. And there he is in the number 26. And now we'll look to get... I think we're going to have that proper warning shot across the bow fired by this driver in the number 26 Lexus. It looks like Lagersten in the number 27 is just behind. As there's Raimo Ocas coming around the final corner in the 86 Porsche. Currently running 9th in the minute, as Speth has gone top, dropping Whitehead down to as... Now that's what you... That's something I didn't quite expect. Ocas taking out one of the brake marker barriers on the right-hand side, heading down towards Variante del Parco, having crossed the line. And Ocas currently 7th. Casasalo in the number 88 Lexus will very shortly look to cross the line here at Misano in just a couple of corners' time, I would imagine. And actually decides to go straight on. And now we'll head back to the pits. And Erbrich on his first lap puts in a 1:36.414. That is 2.4 seconds off of the blistering pace the number 26 set in free practice. 8 minutes and 52 seconds still remaining on the clock here at Misano for qualification. Casasalo rounds out the top 11, make that the top 12. As times are changing on the tower. Erbrich was 13th, now drops to 16th. As Erbrich goes down the gears and now starts to accelerate. Some thunderous roars from these fantastically sounding V8s here at Misano. Through into Corvone at full commitment. That was well and truly planted from Erbrich in the number 26. A little bit of curb hopping there, but not too much. Through Curva del Carro. Then 2 more corners to go. So the penultimate right-hander. So we'll stay with Erbrich. Now through into the left-hander at Curva Misano. Let's see if the number 26 gets up towards the sharp end of the grid after this flying lap. And he goes P3. So Speth and Horhoff now put on notice. So Ebrich definitely showcasing that Lexus has pace around here at Misano. Hans Hanus in the number 60 Alpine Stars liveried Porsche 911 currently rounds out the top 4 positions with Sheldon Muscat, Sergio Mendes and Luke Whitehead, with Sergio Trasi, Waffel and Stremer rounding out the top 10 at the moment as we are past the halfway point in qualification. And it is going to be very interesting how the race will unfold. And there is a wind of around 11 kilometers an hour. Heading, I think that is northwest, if I'm very much mistaken. So the drivers now really starting to push as the track evolves. Here at Misano, Waffel is in the pits in the number 8. And Waffel is currently rounding out the top 9 positions. So 6 minutes 30. Hannes will cross the line once again and does not improve, was just over a tenth off. So here is Plivac in the 334 Ferrari, currently 13th. Best effort so far, a 1 minute 35.307. So still some time to find. Hannes has put the Porsche into the pits. Looks like Tom Otti struggling a little bit in the number 69 McLaren. Currently running out the top 17 positions. Ocas hasn't really, as Plivac goes spinning like a pirouetting top, heading towards Curva del Carro. And there is Simon Speth in the TPC Sim Racing number 10 Ferrari. Currently leading in qualification with just over 5.5 minutes still to go. Yannick Ruoff, Jan-Niklas Erbrich round out the top 3 positions. Hannes, Muscat, Mendes, Whitehead, Trazzi, Waffel, Stremer round out the top 10. There is Ruoff and has got a Nissan, which I think is the 74 of Gemello. And Gemello currently rounding out the top 18 positions. So a lot of the drivers out at the moment, and Ruoff flashing his lights at the driver in front, which is the... oh no, Ruoff gets a bit embroiled in a little bit of a tangle there. And that could have been Lagritson in the number 27 Lexus, as there is Jan-Niklas Ebrich in the 26 Lexus. So Ruoff now will pull it into the pits. And with them running at a let's give or take a 1 minute 35 around the track here at Misano at full chat in qualifying trim, Ruoff will have an opportunity maybe to get a couple more flying laps in. But Ebrich, we saw how the number 26 Lexus evolved during free practice. And that is very much the case here right now. Sheldon Muscat has pulled it into the pits with 4 minutes and 15 still to go. Yellow flags that were out on the circuit now have gone back to green. So we are at full racing conditions here at Misano. So Ebrich looking to squeeze as much speed and performance out of that Lexus RCF GT3 in the dying moments of qualification. He's got just under 4 minutes to try and steal pole position from Simon Speth and the number 10 Ferrari. Ebrich comes round the final corner, nice and neatly done from the Lexus. Let's see if the time improves for Ebrich in the number 26. Oh, not quite. Mendes rounds out the top 4, and the number 23 Ferrari in the same colours as Simon Speth rounds out the top 4 positions at the moment. Trazzi in the number 1 Ferrari. As you can see, some of the drivers now weaving from side to side, looking to increase the brake and tyre temperature. As Mendes now trying to put a lap together. As over the bumps goes the right-hand side of the Ferrari. You could tell it was slightly getting a little bit unsettled, but Mendes had enough experience and composure to keep that all together. And now we'll have one more corner to negotiate. Cover Misano. So the number 23 from Spain will come across the start-finish line. And where does Mendes place? He goes P2. That's a brilliant job there with a 1 minute 34.404. 4/10, pretty much off of the best efforts of Ebre, who rounds out the top 4. So at the moment, Speth and Mendes doing an absolutely brilliant job. Italian cars on Italian soil. And, well, let's see if Ebre can spoil the party in the Lexus. Well, here comes the number 26 round the final corner with just over 2 minutes of the session to go. A little bit of the sausage curb there for the 26 Lexus. Does he improve? No. No, he doesn't. The best lap time. So Ebre really has a bit of work to do. Here comes Reina Ressa in the number 762. Aston Martin. Currently 16th at the moment. Does Ressa improve? No, not on this occasion. Literally, that is his best lap so far. Managed to do a personal best, but not better any sort of lap time that could put him up. Here's Daniel Stramer in the 333. Rinaldi Racing Ferrari, currently running out the top 10. Through he comes at full pace through Corvone. And that roar from that Italian V8. Oh, that sounds glorious, doesn't it? So 1 minute and 15 seconds still to go. Stramer will have another opportunity at a flying lap, as Trazzi, I think, might have called it a day in terms of being in the pits. So Stramer currently running at the top 10. Will the 333 Ferrari improve this time around? We're about to find out as we have just under 60 seconds on the clock. Stramer crosses the line, goes 5th on a 1 minute 34.650. Brilliant job there. So at the moment, we have 3 Ferraris, a Porsche. No, Sheldon Muscat has absolutely spoiled the party. He's put the cat amongst the proverbial pigeons. And the number 14 Mercedes with a 1 minute 33.897 second lap time takes provisional pole with about 40 seconds on the clock remaining. Ebre has got to do something, and he goes P2. 1 minute 33.981. And he knows that pole position is out of his grasp as the timer ticks away. Yannick Ruoff might have a chance here, as we've got 15 seconds on the clock, but Sheldon Muscat from GT Omega Esports did an absolutely brilliant job there. And it has changed everything. Mendes and Speth were probably thinking they were sitting up on high as the timer hits 0 here in qualifying. Ruoff now going through Curva del Carro for the final time. And the 297 Porsche has 2 left-handers to negotiate. Here's the first one. And into the left at Curva Misano, the flat 6 boxer engine roars as Ruoff punches down the throttle. Will he get any further up the timesheets? No, he stays 5th. Well. Sheldon Muscat in the number 14 Mercedes has really put the Falterbach cap between all the other branded pigeons here on the circuit. Stramer goes 6th. So a real good job from the 333, but it was Muscat that really has done a great job. So Sheldon Muscat now, that was a brilliant 15-minute qualifying session, I must admit. Sheldon Muscat and the number 14 doing a great job, deposing Sergio Mendes and Simon Speth. You know, Jan-Niklas Ebrich having a really good job. But it wasn't enough. He managed to get P2 in the end, so we have a Mercedes and a Lexus on the front row ahead of 2 Ferraris. But, you know, we're very shortly going to be going through to this race. So a big thank you to those watching on TVM Sport, Esports Television, Motorsport.tv, also Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. And a big thank you once again to our sponsors, Melita, VisitMalta.com, Gaming Malta, HyperX, and of course, Thrustmaster. And this half-hour race is going to be absolutely flat out, pedal to the metal, no holds barred. Well, in terms of GT3 action, let's say. And it's going to be an interesting one. I really have got no idea who to pick as a race winner, because the biggest thing is, one of the things you have to remember is that there is unpredictability in motorsport. And that is very true in the esports racing world. And we'll find that out this here on World Pro Racing. You can head to our official website, worldproracing.com, to get involved, join our community. We do have relevant championships. We also have these casual races going on, and it looks like we're about to get things underway. 30 minutes on the clock, just over 70 seconds to go until we get racing here. So it will be Sheldon Muscat and Jans Niklas Ebrich on the front row. Ebrich, the last time winner. And then it is Mendes and Speth on row 2, Huoff and Stremer on row 3, Hannes and Whitehead, row 4, Trazzi and Waffel, row 5. And this is where it gets interesting. It's a 2x2 rolling start formation. The drivers will get penalised for a jump start or a stop-go penalty if they are found to be outside of the parameters of the rolling start formation. And this is where it's going to get interesting, folks. Just under 30 seconds remain. The Misano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli, casual GT3 race here on World Pro Racing with myself, Alex Goldschmidt, on commentary duties for you this evening. And when everything is all good, we get the red lights going to green, and we will be racing for 30 minutes. It is going to be a full-out sprint. Everyone is going to go toe-to-toe, hell for leather, as the local time hits 3:02 p.m. Track temperature has now increased to 36 degrees Celsius. So it is Muscat from Ebrich, Mendes from Speth, Huoff, Stremer, Hannes, Whitehead, Trazzi. Waffel is the rounding out the top 10 with Piardi, Plivac, Consabo, Suarez, Oka, Schresa, Gemello, Casisalo, Otti and Riboldi. And it is lights are green. We are off and racing down to Variante del Parco for the first time. Muscat looks to have the advantage over Elbrich as they head through. As Huoff trying to make a move. I think that might be on Mendes or Speth, but it is two abreast. The two Ferraris. Oh, there's been an absolute bit of carnage at the back part of the field. One of the cars spinning back onto the racing line. And Matthias Elbrecht joins the server a little bit late, as now Muscat really coming under fire from Jan Niklas Ebrich, as Mendes under fire very quickly indeed. He's down to 5th. As Huoff looks to have gone past now, Hannes and Whitehead nearly making... Whitehead's trying to go two wheels on the grass on the inside. Oh, he tangles with Hannes! He tangles with Hannes and clatters in to the side of Sergio Mendes. Oh, mamma mia. And for his troubles, Hannes gets another punt as a result of that. But Max Waffel, the leading Aston Martin Vantage GT3, up to 8th place in the initial fray. So it's gotten very hot and heated under the collar here at Misano within the first 60 seconds. Yellow flags out on the circuit. So Hannes dropping all the way down to what is 12th position on the road as Sheldon Muscat looks to stop, breaking away from Jans Niklas Ebrich. But Simon Speth in the number 10 Ferrari, not too far behind. Here's the recovering Sergio Mendes in P7. And he's got Stremer, Whitehead and Huoff just up ahead. As Whitehead runs a little bit wide there, coming out of the penultimate left-hander. And that could have really have given Stremer an opportunity. But the Brits in the 114 still trying to go and move forward. He's got a bit of a gap to try and find between himself and Yannick Huoff in the number 297, as Denis Suarez in the Audi, the number 78 Audi, and the only Audi out of the 24 that I see on the left-hand side of my screen. And for you all watching at home on YouTube, Twitch, and also Facebook, along with TVM Sport, Esports TV, and also motorsport.tv itself. Bruno Vieira in the 912 Porsche, now ahead of Tom Otti, who's managed to capitalise a little bit. He was running down towards the bottom part of the top 20, as now, there's a little bit of elbows out there between him and Suarez, as, sorry, not Suarez, Vieira. And that allows Casisalu in the number 88 to get past. And they've got Gemello not too far behind. And also Martin in the number 25, Aston Martin. Muscat trying to break away from Ebrich. And we are just under 3 minutes in of this 30-minute race. And once the timing strikes 0, if we're halfway across the lap, that basically means it will be the last lap of the race. Stremer now having to fight with Sergio Mendes as Yannick Huoff now starting to try and close on the three in front, with Simon Speth rounding out the top three. But it's not going to be easy, especially over the next 26 minutes and 40 seconds of this GT3 race here at Misano. And it's based in the Rimini province in Emilia-Romagna. And we go on board with Raimo Ocas in the 86 Porsche, just behind Suarez in the number 78 Audi. So now down from about 200 Ks in fourth down to second gear at about 85. And this is where it gets a bit tight and technical sometimes here at Misano. You've got to really know where to hit the apex and how to put the power down coming out of the corners. Casisalu in the number 88, still ahead of Tom Otti. So these two are rounding out the top 15 positions. But we know that in sprint racing, in sports cars, anything can happen. Plivac, who looks to be keeping it on the black stuff at the minute, has Martin, the number 25, in the crosshairs and looks to go towards the outside. Now that would have been heading through, more than likely, Tramonto, I believe. And then they will come into the right-hander at Corvone. And that's taken at fifth gear, nearly towards the red line, as Muscat is not being allowed to breathe whatsoever. Ebrich and Speth have been keeping in the GT Omega RPM Esports drivers' wheel tracks. And that's quite important, because Muscat, if he makes a mistake, Ebrich will be the first of those two drivers behind to capitalise. And Speth is not too far from Ebrich either. So any one of the top two makes a mistake, as Whitehead has really closed up on Yannick Ruoff in the number 297 Porsche. And Whitehead looking to make good his intentions. Seems like he's got that Lexus RCF set up really, really well. Oh, look how feisty Whitehead is looking right about now as we go on board the Lexus RCF GT3. Up to fourth. Hitting the rev line and going into fifth gear. Now into Covaquercia. Down into second. And he takes a bit more curb, takes a bit more apex as opposed to Ruoff, and now is right in the back slipstream. Through into Tramonto, looking towards the inside of the Porsche. Oh, Whitehead, if he was another car length closer, and he's looking to make the move through the exit of Tramonto. If he pulls that off before Corvone, he's a very brave man, but I think he's going to play it a little bit casual here. Through into Corvone. Oh, he's gone side by side, and he's made the move. Perfectly timed there by Luke Whitehead. Oh, that was brazen at its finest there from Luke Whitehead. Absolutely stuck it up the inside of Yannick Ruoff and made the move stick. That was a belter there. So Whitehead now isn't too far away. Now, just judging by what's happening here, now I think Speth has had a moment. I think he's had a major moment, Speth. But Ruoff now coming back at Whitehead. And this is where it could really, really be quite interesting. Whitehead goes on the defensive. So looks like we've got a stop-go penalty. And it looks like, unfortunately, Ocas in the number 86 will drop. Raimo Ocas has been found to have caused an avoidable collision and will be given, has received a 30-second stop-go penalty as a result of that action. And that would have been what happened, I think, earlier on, as Muscat really coming under fire from Ebrich. And Ebrich one last time out. So this is where it's really, really going to make the difference. As Ebrich getting really, really up close and personal to the back bumper of that Mercedes. But Muscat resilient. Muscat not wanting to give an inch and did not want Ebrich to take a mile on that particular exchange. But this is the pinnacle of sim racing, where you see two gladiators, two modern-day sim racing gladiators at the peak of their powers. And you can just see how close Ebrich is getting to Sheldon Muscat. It's not over yet. There's still 22 and a quarter minutes still to go. Through the left-hander at turn 15, now into Cova Misano, the 16th and final corner. And look how close Ebrich has gotten to Muscat as they come down the main straightaway, heading towards Variante del Parco. Ebrich to the outside, looking to get the cut through. I cannot believe it. Ebrich is trying to park it on the inside of the very next left-hander, but that will still give Muscat the easy way out, and it did prevail to be so. But Ebrich, I have to commend completely there, because that was a fantastic job. He got it to the outside of the first part of Variante del Parco into the right-hander, which gave him the inside run for the next left-hander. Sergio Mendes, in the meantime, has got past Daniel Stromae for 6th place. So it is the battle of Maranello, twofold here between 6th and 7th position. And Muscat and Ebrich still literally can't be separated at the moment. And it seems like the Lexus seems to have the edge on the brakes, and Ebrich is effectively using Muscat as a marker, and that's the biggest thing here. What you find is that the driver that is being chased, you know, if you're doing the chasing, you're the one that hasn't got the pressure. If you're being chased, you're the one that's got the pressure on you. And I'm sure that Muscat is probably feeling it. Oh, bit of a moment there from the Mercedes, big time moment, and he managed to hold on to it. But for how much longer will he keep this lead? Ebrich is waiting like a tiger in the reeds in a jungle, waiting to pounce and capture his prey. And that looks to be the case, as now Yannick Horf now closing on the back bumper of Luke Whitehead as the battle for the lead well and truly on. As Muscat goes defensive. Once again, Ebrich to the outside through Variante del Parco. Into the left, he's up on the inside. But Muscat once more keeps the defensive line. But if he does make a mistake now, that's really, really going to hurt him. As now through into cover Del Rio. Again, Ebrich looking towards the outside to get the switch back. And you can just tell how much pace there is between those drivers. And I've just got this sinking feeling in my gut that Ebrich could be trying to go for the victory once again this time around. But Muscat is resolute. Muscat is defiant. And he's not allowing that to happen. But in the meantime, you know what I said about unpredictability? It's coming. It is well and truly coming, because if you look behind Muscat and Ebrich, there's Whitehead, Horf and Speth. That's the top 5. That's how close this battle is getting. And then you see Sergio Mendes in the back. Oh, could very soon be a top 6 scrap for the lead of this race, and what could be effectively the eventual victory here on worldproracing.com. And now Speth really closing on Horf as Ebrich again closes on the back bumper in Muscat. And there is Yannick Horf in the 297 Porsche. Speth just behind. Mendes will factor into this. Just give him another couple of laps or so, and I'm sure that with the pace that he's showing, that will be in patience personified. As Muscat again, now he's gone very defensive very early into Variante del Parco. As no, he opens the door. He opens the door big time, and Ebrich was even closer than he has been. He's powered around the outside, and he's got through. Oh, Ebrich absolutely stole that off of Sheldon Muscat like candy off of a baby. And Ebrich, last week's winner, now back into the top spot with 18 minutes and 20 seconds still remaining. Let's have a look at this replay, and you can just see Muscat goes tight on the defensive, and he loses it. He loses it into the left-hander, and that's where Ebrich had the door well and truly open for him, and he just unceremoniously went, right, I'm going to do an M&M and go round the outside big time. And he got the lead with 18 minutes on the clock still to go. So Ebrich waited, bided his time, and Muscat made that mistake. I was talking about that a few minutes earlier in the broadcast. So 17 minutes and 43 seconds still to go, as Casisalu now closing on Tom Ollie. Oh, touches the back of the 69 and sends Tom Otti spinning. And Casisalu, I think, will be investigated for that one. And that has really put the spanner in the works for Tom Otti, who could have been on course for possibly even a top 10 finish in this race. But Canisalu, I think that is an unavoidable incident, and I would not be at all surprised if the 88 Lexus gets a penalty from race control as a direct result. But look at the gap already that Jan Niklas Ebrich has started to build on Sheldon Muscat. Luke Whitehead very, very close indeed in third position. This is where you sense things are going to change. And Muscat, having put it on pole position, Ebrich, I think, did exactly what he needed to do, and that would have been to effectively manage to get past when Muscat was under threat. And Muscat knew the pressure was coming, and now it's coming again thanks to Luke Whitehead. And this is where it's really, really going to change. We could see a potential of a Lexus 1-2 here at Misano, and that would definitely not be very, very pleasing for the virtual Tifosi in the grandstands, who currently have 3 Ferraris running at 5th, 6th and 7th, with Speth, Mendes and Stremer currently rounding things off at the moment. But Speth looking to try and get past Yannick Roorf in the 297 Porsche. And that's the battle for 4th position. They head through Corvone. Down the gearbox they go. Onto the brakes hard. And you can just see that Speth looks to be a bit more composed on the brakes. And his teammate Mendes not too far behind. And they've dropped Stremer by a considerable margin. And I've just seen the 333 Rinaldi Racing liveried car just go through Corvone. As we've just had yellow flags out, as Casisalo has got a drive-through, and that will have been for the contact on Tom Otti. So Casisalo will be out of the running and will be out of the top 15 positions. Denis Suarez in the number 78 Audi has kept his nose clean pretty much so far, as we are about to hit half-time here in this 30-minute sprint race for World Pro Racing on the casual races here on Assetto Corsa Competizione for GT3, as Luke Whitehead looks a bit closer this time to Sheldon Muscat. Don't forget to register on worldproracing.com to join us on our community, and why not be a part of it? You know, we have weekly casual races, some special events, championships on PC and PS4 throughout the year, from amateur to professional. Why not join us here at World Pro Racing? Luke Whitehead again looking ever closer, as there's the move. Oh, Speth looking to try and seize the day. Carpe diem, if you will. Will he do the same as what we saw a bit earlier? Speth in the toe going through Corvone, but he didn't chance going side by side on Roorf like Whitehead did earlier on. But Speth lost a bit of momentum there, going through the right-hander before Cova del Carro. And that is allowing Sergio Mendes, his teammate. One of the biggest rules in racing, especially on esports as well, never take out your teammate. But you can see how much momentum that Simon Speth has just lost out. And Mendes is in the slipstream as they come across the start-finish line once again. Ebrich still leading the way by a considerable margin. Muscat still in second. And he's got Whitehead closing on him. So Whitehead smells a bit of Mercedes blood in the Lexus water. And a little bit of a mistake there coming from Sheldon Muscat, but he manages to compose himself. But Whitehead is looking to strike. He's gone side by side with the Mercedes. They're now heading over to Cova Quercia. And it looks like Whitehead has got the job done. Into the apex they go. The Lexus up the inside. And he makes it through, but Muscat trying to look to counter-attack early. Back end of the Mercedes steps out, and I think that is Whitehead now up into second position. Stremer in 7th, ahead of Waffel, who is the leading Aston Martin out of the field. And Whitehead now is ahead. He is in second position, ahead of Sheldon Muscat. So Muscat might have had a bit more of a drama coming through once again. So now it is a Lexus 1-2 with Jan-Niklas Ebrich and Luke Whitehead leading the way. There's Max Waffel in the number 8 Incoherent Racing Lines team, Aston Martin. He's got Hans Hanus in the number 60 LM Corsa Porsche just behind. And the Porsche looks to be a bit racier than the Aston Martin at this particular moment, but we've still got just over 12 minutes still to go in this race. As that was a little bit wide there coming out of Cova Misano by Stremer. And that is allowing Waffel and Hannes to get a tow. As we go on board with Max Waffel. in the number 8, up to 3rd, up to 4th gear. Now on the braking, down to 1st gear, through the first part of Curva del Rio. Then it's another right-hander, up 2nd. And now is really on the back bumper of Stremer as they go onto the back straightaway, heading to Curva Quercia. So Hannes gets really up close and personal with the Aston Martin. As now Simon Speth closes back up once again on Yannick Ruoff. But there is a big difference here. And the reason I say this is that the 2 Ferraris in matching liveries are line astern. And if Speth goes for a move and there is enough room for Mendes to go through at the same time, Yannick Ruoff could come under salvo fire from 2 Italian thoroughbred race cars very shortly. You can just see it is starting to build. The crescendo between these 3 has yet to be exploited or showcased, let's say. But Ebrich still leading with just 10 minutes and 50 on the clock to go here at Misano. And he's done a fantastic job. He waited, bided his time, and it gave him the opportunity with just over 18 minutes on the clock remaining. As Muscat's got a drive-through. Now, could that be for track limits? If Muscat has had a drive-through, that is changing everything. So the GT Omega RPM eSports driver, some mistakes starting to creep in. And the software, Yannick Ruoff has a bit of a moment, as does Speth and Mendes. And the thing is that if you have too many track cuts, the system software on ACC will put you in for a drive-through, and you have 3 laps to serve that. So that is going to put, I fear, that could put Muscat out of the top 10 quite easily there after such a great performance in qualification. But now, Hannes is on the back bumper of Waffel, and he looks to the inside. And the Aston Martin on this particular occasion doesn't let the door open quite yet. Now they're going to head down towards the right-hander at Curvone. And Hannes up the inside and now takes 8th position, which will effectively become 7th as soon as Muscat serves his penalty. And Mendes looks to have had a bit of a moment here as well. Let's have a look. So they're coming through. Now it's the run down to Curvone, and I think this is where Mendes has lost it. Let's have a look. Through into the corner. Into the braking zone. Yeah, the back end's going to... He has to avoid nearly hitting the back bumper of his teammate and has to go wide on the approach to Curva del Carro. Sergio Mendes and Simon Speth were both very, very lucky indeed, but Mendes has ended up being the one that has come off worst. So now Muscat is in the pit serving his drive-through penalty. That's put him down to 7th. That could be 8th very shortly. Make that 9th now, as Ruoff has got Simon Speth trying to chase him down with just over 8.5 minutes still to go. So Muscat rejoins and is in 10th position. Stremer is in 6th. Hannes is up into 7th. Waffel in 8th. Suarez now 9th. Plivac in the 334 Ferrari now 10th, as Muscat is outside of the top 10, as I thought that might be the case. But Yannick Ruoff having to battle away, and this is for the last step on the rostrum. 3rd place. Simon Speth looking... moment for Ruoff, and Speth just absolutely sends it. Saw the opportunity. Ruoff went wide. The back end of the Porsche stepped out, and that was through into the approach onto Curva del Carro. And now Simon Speth finds himself on the latter step of the rostrum in 3rd place with just over 7.5 minutes remaining. So the mistakes start creeping in towards the tail end of the race with 7.5 minutes to go. Will Yannick Ruoff have enough in the tank to try and get back on level pegging terms with Simon Speth? But don't count out Sergio Mendes. Now, Mendes did have a bit of a moment when he tried to avoid his teammate and made sure that he took due care and avoiding action. As Hannes, now having got past Max Waffel in the number 8 Aston Martin. is in 7th place with exactly 7 minutes on the clock still to go. Strimair just up ahead. I'm wondering if Hannes in that Porsche has the pace to try and close on the 333 Ferrari just up ahead. And Simon Speth still in 3rd at the minute, but Yannick Ruoff could have something to say about that. And it is never over until the checkered flag falls. And we now have a great onboard from our broadcast crew here. Big thank you to them, showing just how committed the likes of Simon Speth and Yannick Ruoff are as they head in towards Curva del Carro. It's all the way down the gearbox. Power through the apex. Make sure you keep it nice, clean and composed. Into the left-hander, turn 15. And then into the left-hander at Curva Misano. And Ruoff gets really up close and personal in the braking zone. But Speth manages to power under the corner nice and tidily as they come across the line. And the pair still pretty much on level peggings. We go on board with Yannick Ruoff through into Variante del Parco. You can just see, even after nearly 25 minutes of flat-out sprint racing here on the casual race for GT3 on World Pro Racing, how hard these drivers are pushing. Second gear up to 3rd. Now up towards Cova Quercia. Up to 5th gear. Reaching nearly 240 kilometers an hour on the speedometer before going down into 2nd gear. Ruoff still on the back bumper of Speth. This battle for 3rd. With just over 5.25 minutes remaining. Not over yet by a long sight. So now they're going to head towards the far part of the circuit. And I'm wondering if the Porsche has the legs on the Ferrari. We're about to find out as they go through Corvone. Flying through the corner with the greatest of ease. It's dependent on who's going to be better on the brakes, who's going to be braver on the brakes going into Curva del Carro. Both drivers pretty much even Stevens there. But don't think for one moment these drivers are taking it easy. Oh no, they are not. And there is the leader, Jan-Niklas Ebrich, our winner from last week. Still leading with 4.5 minutes on the clock to go. And Luke Whitehead at the moment is making it a 1-2 for the Lexus brand. Simon Speth holding the pride and honour of Maranello and the Prancing Horse in 3rd place at the minute. Just ahead of Yannick Ruoff in Stuttgart's finest. Sergio Mendes rounds out the top 5 in the minute, but Speth still not out of the wilderness. Still being pressurised, as Yannick Ruoff needs just one opportunity to make it count. But it's whether he's going to make inroads like he is just there. Oh! Deeply on the brakes goes. And he's doing the old flashy headlights, flashy fog lights routine there. Is Yannick Ruoff, and he's got really up close and personal. I think he senses that there is that opportunity, and he's not going to wait around for Simon Speth to make a mistake. Oh no, he's not going to do that indeed. We're going to go through Corvone now. And that time, Ruoff was a little bit closer. But, Ruoff runs wide. That is going to open the door for Sergio Mendes. Well, it did nearly. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, my goodness. That was absolutely... That was hard in the mouth moment for Yannick Ruoff. I think at the end of the day, he's definitely going to want to take a cold shower after that. But you can just see that the Ferrari does have the legs on the Porsche on the straights, but then coming into the curves, the Porsche seems to be a bit more adept, a bit more adaptable, a bit more flexible when it goes into going into the certain corners here. And you can just see how hard Yannick Ruoff is pushing. Max Waffel in the number 8 Aston Martin, currently running 8th with just 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock from morning, is trying to get past Hans Hanus in the number 60 Porsche, but time is fast running out as Waffel runs a little bit wide coming out of that corner. This is where it really gets interesting, because now Simon Speth knows he has probably, depending on where they are on the circuit at the moment, I'll just try and get my bearings. I think they're about to go through Corvone very, very soon. That is the case. So depending on when Jan Niklas Ebrich crosses the start-finish line, and that's going to be now. He's got one more corner to negotiate. So effectively, yeah, we're going to be onto the final lap now, effectively by my reckoning here. So Jans Niklas Ebrich will cross the line with 1 minute and 20. So the leader is now on the final lap. It has been confirmed. So with 1 minute and 25 still to go, one lap remains as, Hannes gets a drive through. And that will be for track limits infringements. But Yannick Ruoff now has the hurry up and really needs to get past Simon Speth in a hurry, because Sergio Mendes is trying to push like crazy to try and catch them up. And we go on board with Yannick Ruoff. So now onto the back straightaway, heading up to Cueva Quercia as Mendes runs wide. It's not enough at the moment, but if he gets the run on him going through Tramonto and into Corvone, he could have a real good run. As Hannes serves his drive-through penalty. But Ruoff really has to capitalise and has to do something, if not now, by the exit of Corvone. Now this is the time where we're going to see if this Porsche has the legs on the Ferrari. And it's a big build-up of speed here. Fifth gear at around 250. Through into Corvone. Speth still ahead of Ruoff. Time is about to hit 0. And Ruoff is fast running out of corners. But onto 0, we strike the timer. And for the second week in succession, Jan Niklas Ebrich will take the checkered flag in the 26 Lexus and win the race here at Misano. Luke Whitehead from Great Britain in the 114 takes second, making it a Lexus 1-2. And look at this, a race to the finish. Simon Speth, despite Yannick Ruoff flashing the headlights, takes third ahead of the Porsche in the 297. Sergio Mendes, oh my goodness me, if he'd have had another 5 minutes and possibly not had that off-track excursion, I think would have been a lot closer, and it could have decided the top, probably third or fourth place. Strumer takes sixth ahead of Waffel. Suarez in the number 78 Audi takes 8th place. Sheldon Muscat in the number 14 will take 9th ahead of Plivac in the 334. Hannes will finish behind the Bentley, number 7 Bentley of Piardi. So, what a race here at Misano. And for the second week in a row, Jans Niklas Ebrich takes the victory with 18 minutes still to go. So, effectively, it's going to be quite interesting. We're hopefully going to speak to a couple of the drivers very, very shortly. But Jans Niklas Ebrich did a fantastic performance, second win on the bounce with 18 minutes on the clock still to go. Sheldon Muscat having a moment going in through the second part of Variante del Parco. And from there, it was just clear sailing for Jans Niklas Ebrich. And I think, let's see if I can grab a word with him. Jans Niklas Ebrich, are you there with us? And congratulations on your second victory in 2 weeks running. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm here.
I just wanted to take you back, Jan Niklas, back to the moment where you and Sheldon were battling really, really hard, going through into the first three-turn complex of Variante del Parco, and you were going to the outside for the first part of it, getting the inside run for the second corner, but then with 18 minutes, Sheldon made an unforced error, I think, and it just gave you that opportunity to power through. Was that your tactic, to just sort of keep putting the pressure on and hoping that something was going to present itself in the offing?
Yeah, I saw him that he has problems with his car. He was sliding a lot, and so I put the pressure on him. So he might made a small mistake. It was really close because I was also struggling when I was on the side of him. I was struggling. I was also sliding a lot, and almost killed myself.
And obviously, we saw that the Lexus had really good pace in free practice.
Yep.
You literally you did a really good job, but then Sheldon came back on all cylinders and took pole position. I think you and him were the only two that got under the 1:34 second bracket. But do you think that had Sheldon not had his drive through, things could have been a bit more competitive between you two towards the end of the race?
I think he was struggling a lot more with the tires because he was sliding a lot, and I think also Luke Whitehead overtook him, and I think it was because maybe the Mercedes is a bit harder on the tires here.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jens Niklas, well done. Congratulations on your second victory in a row. Okay, next up, bringing it home for Lexus in second position. Good to speak to a fellow Brit. Luke Whitehead, congratulations. Well done, mate.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm over the moon.
I think it was quite interesting throughout the race itself, how the Lexus was really coming strong in the latter stages, especially when you got past Sheldon, but then also you had the likes of Yannick and Simon who were battling between each other throughout the latter part of the race. You managed to pull away and get a bit of a gap. I think just like Jan Niklas, I think the Lexus seemed to be strong around here at Misano.
Yeah, it seemed that way. The car felt really comfortable. I mean, I did very little practice before the race. I only did the 10 minutes in free practice. So I myself was getting more and more comfortable. Coming back from 8th, I was on the back foot to challenge for the lead, but yeah, over the moon. The car just seemed to handle its tyres really well. You know, he was sliding around a lot, so it didn't. He couldn't really resist, unfortunately. But yeah, it was really good fun to come through and watch all the guys struggle.
Yeah, indeed. Well, well done, Luke. Congratulations on second this evening here on World Pro Racing.
Thank you very much.
And we'll also speak to our third place driver, Simon Speth, in the Ferrari. Simon, congratulations first of all on third place this evening.
Thank you.
But you had a very difficult, you had a tall order because you had not just your teammate Sergio Mendes closing in on you, but Yannick Horf in the dying stages, and it was nip and tuck between the pair of you for third place at the end, but you must be ecstatic after that one.
Yeah, it was really hard to defend against the Porsche behind me. Like, he overtook me first when Whitehead did the move against me. I lost a bit of momentum. And he got past me, but I guess the Porsche was just a bit slower at the fast corners at the end of the long straight, so but you couldn't really do something there, and then I just waited for his mistake, and it came, and I got past, and then I just tried to be more defensive than I was against Whitehead to keep him behind me.
Yeah, I think also Sergio, your teammate, was running really quick as well, but there was a moment towards the latter part of the race where you were closing on Yannick. Sergio was right up your exhaust pipes, and he had to make a quick decision to not hit you in the back bumper and taking possibly you and also Yannick out. I think Sergio did himself a bit of credit there in terms of how he conducted himself, but obviously it was a very difficult split-second reaction he had to take, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess this one was really close. Like, I was really near behind the Porsche, and I knew that he braked a bit earlier in the fast corners there, so I needed to slow down to not hit him well, and then I was way too slow for the corner, and Sergio closed in on like proper race pace for the Ferrari, and yeah, you have a lot of runoff there, so he could have avoided it well.
Yeah, well, as they say, that is racing, and but congratulations, Simon, on third place here at Misano this evening.
Thanks.
Okay, well, that concludes our interview session here on World Pro Racing for the casual GT3 race that's just taken place at Misano. Just to let you know that there are some slots available for our casual rFactor 2 event tomorrow evening. There are spaces still available on the grid. Head to worldproracing.com for further information. But also, for those wondering about the Assetto Corsa Competizione at Autodromo Nazionale di Monza next week, it is fully booked. So a big thank you to you all for watching here on World Pro Racing on Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. Also on TVM Sport in Malta, Esports Television and Motorsport.tv. A big thank you to our sponsors once again, Melita. Visit Malta.com, Gaming Malta, HyperX, and Thrustmaster. My name's Alex Goldschmidt. Thank you for watching us here on World Pro Racing, and we'll see you again next time. Have a good one.
Stream is powered by Melita, using Melita Gigapower Internet. World Pro Racing, where sim racing becomes real.
For only €5 a month, experience every high-definition moment on your TV, tablet, phone or PC. Great teams, great moments, and so much more. TSN from Melita is your ticket to stay in the game. Visit melita.com/sports.
Senna was a god. No one could even dream to follow him.
I'm from a very humble background.
The role of women at that time were really difficult.
It's just so dangerous. You're risking not only your life, but also my life.
Wish your Wi-Fi network would just work in any room? Our new Stellar Wi-Fi is AI assisted to give you the smoothest, fastest possible Wi-Fi throughout your home. Stellar Wi-Fi, assisted by AI, exclusive to Melita. Find out more in-store or online.
World Pro Racing, where sim racing becomes real.